Ladies and gents, welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a whole week. It has been a whole week. A whole other week. It's Friday. For you guys that are tuning in live, welcome in. Say hello in the chat if you're watching this after the fact. This is the Friday night live stream where I discuss all kinds of things that happened throughout the week and things that interested me that I, couldn't formulate a full video about maybe, or I just didn't have time to prepare anything for. There's so much always happening throughout the week. So yeah, I take Fridays as an opportunity to catch up on a lot of things. And you know what? So much is happening that I don't always even get everything on a Friday night live stream. But I try to get to what I can get to. So just watching people filing in here. I'm going to hit a refresh here, make sure the chat's all up to date. And yeah, awesome. It's been a really interesting one, to say the least. Lots has happened in the past 7 days since the last time I was on here. Last week, if you don't recall, or if you weren't around, I had Neil from the Hill, who is organizer for the Rolling Thunder Ottawa, and that's happening now. That's happening as we speak. A lot of people have rolled into Ottawa, and they're hanging out, say the least. A lot of other people have come into Ottawa other than the Rolling Thunder crew. There's all kinds of people, and they're having quite the event. It appears that there's a lot of police. We're going to go over some of that stuff here tonight. I know a lot of people are over watching Ottawalks at the moment. I noticed he's live. I don't know who else is live. I know Live from the Shed was live earlier. We're going to go over some of the footage that he put up. We're going to look at some of that. Good evening, everyone. We got Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Quesnel, BC. Or is that Quesnel, BC. Yeah, where's everybody from that's in the chat? Hey. Watching everyone filing in. It's the way it works, it sends out the notification. Not everybody gets it right on time. Also put it out on Twitter today with a question as well, which we'll get to, because I thought that was an interesting one. Put that question out on Twitter. If you're not already on Twitter, get over there. What are you waiting for? It's we're having a party on Twitter. We're having a great time because we've got a seemingly new platform where people are allowed to speak with each other, and there's nobody stopping us from speaking with one another. It appears that I've been getting notifications from people that I've been following that I thought were inactive, but it turns out they've been active, and I've been seeing them in my news feed, as well as I've been in other people's news feed that again, they didn't know that I was being active, and all of a sudden I'm getting all kinds of activity on our accounts and seeing each other and communicating and talking to each other. I threw out a big one out there saying, if you're following me, I put out a tweet saying, reply to this one. I want to follow you back. If you're active, if you're an active account, you're not just like lurking or whatever, you actually want to comment and be part of the community, leave a reply on that one and I'll follow you back. And then we'll all be part and parcel of this whole Twitter community. And obviously here on YouTube's exploded in the past few months. It's been fantastic. You guys are great. Just keeping an eye on the chat here. Watching Viva Frei in parallel. Got notified you're streaming. He's in the Rolling Thunder event. Rumor says, okay, so I was watching him a bit earlier, but he was like across the river or something. But yeah, I had to get ready for this stream, and I was checking out Ottawalks as well. And that's all I saw that was online. Rumor says a 6-foot cop assaulted a 100-pound chick after she verbally assaulted him. Oh, that's really not cool. That's really not. Well, the news is going to get out about that. Of course, hopefully somebody got footage of it. I know. I'm pretty sure we all know what the narrative is going to be from CBC or CTV Global, any of the likes. I think that's pretty much a given what they're going to say and what they've been saying, but we're going to go over that. You know, memes make the world go around, and they just crack me up all the time. I love sharing memes. I love that you guys share memes with me, and this is one that just, I don't know why it came to mind, but it cracked me up so much. I had to share with you guys just before we get into chatting about all kinds of stuff. But my boss is actually, he's from Britain, and the British accent's a funny one. Of course, England is where the English language was originated. But the way they say stuff is just so funny sometimes. And there was this meme here about how to pronounce bottle of water. So, how the rest of us pronounce it, bottle of water. And the British pronunciation for the same words is bottle water. And that one cracks me up every time. I don't know why. I don't know why it cracks me up every single time. But moving on, we're gonna wanted to have a look at Twitter, because Twitter's been a lot of fun this week. I've been having so much fun putting stuff out. I've been putting out a couple of videos here and there as well. Just the memes kill me. People who think men can get pregnant are suddenly worried about misinformation on Twitter. Right. This is the world we live in, folks. This is what's up. By the way, go reply to that tweet that I put out. I'm gonna go through it again. I went through it. I've been going through it all day today, but I'll go through it again tomorrow. But yeah, if you want me to follow you back, reply to that tweet, and I'll follow you back so that your whatever you're saying will come up in my feed, and we can engage with each other. That'd be a lot of fun. Really appreciate that. So some of the other ones, if you're upset that somebody bought Twitter because that means that they won't censor people you don't like anymore, maybe you're the bad guy. It's been so much fun. It's been lots of fun. Yeah. So this is the one I put out. I said, if you're following me, fighting for the cause of freedom and transparency in the world, and want me to follow you back, reply to this tweet. I want to follow like-minded people that also post their opinions. So get in there and give her a reply. I'll get right back out there at you. But yeah, it's Friday. Been a crazy week. Lots happening. There is lots happening. We've got the United States has a new department, a new bureau in the Department of Defense, or the Department of Homeland Security. That's the one. As if that wasn't a bad enough term when that came out. I remember when that came out in, I believe, 2001. Scary. It's incremental. They got to do it incrementally, because if they did it all at once, then people would tune into it a little too much. And I think this one is pushing it a little too far, because a lot of people are waking up to this concept of a ministry that is responsible for telling you what is true and what is not true. I mean, what else do you call that? Other than a ministry of truth? Are there ads? Are they ads in the ministry of truth? What do you are you talking about on the video? There might be ads as you come in to the live stream. But yeah. The shed was live, but when the white vans came in, he had to go. PTSD from the last time. Okay. Yeah, well, I can imagine. I was watching on Ottawalks stream. They had the pew-pews out. They had the big old pew-pews. And I know Dave, he had one of those pointed right at him. And that's a shocking experience, to say the least. It's pretty devastating. But again, the memes are just so good. They're so good. I wrote out on Twitter, I don't believe there should be any ideas that we cannot challenge openly and publicly. A lot of people agreeing with that. It's so fun. Wowzers, that's such a cool car. Can I buy it? Sure. And then a free and open exchange occurs. Cool. Wait a minute. Why do you have so much money? That's immoral. You need to spend it on things I want. Like my college that got me nowhere. Put a 5 in the chat if you went to college. Put a 5 in the chat if you went to college or university, whatever it is. Because a lot of us went to college. Not all of us went to college. You don't need to go to college to do a lot of careers, but that's a thing. 5. Okay, a 0 for no college. There you go. University college. 5 Bible college. Okay, that's still college. Still went for post-secondary education. No. I went. Yeah, noob, I know you went. 5. Now, of all the people that went to college, how many of you still have student loan debt? And that put a 7 for student loan, have it, and put a 4 if you've paid it all off. Let's see what happens. But in the meantime, I fear Elon Musk could undermine the ideological diversity, equity, and inclusion at Twitter, which currently maintains a careful balance of 98.7% on one side. And this, I covered this in one of my videos, but this is just, I just gotta stress this. This is absurd. It is absurd. Can I put this in another tab and blow it up? Let's get this bigger. Okay. This is the employee donations to midterm candidates by party. And this is as of October 26th. Yeah, I understand you can't see the whole bottom of the chart. Wow, a lot of you have paid off your student loans. I know, noob, you're still there. I know, but you did some pretty hefty education. 4. Of the people who paid off their student loans, how many of you are just type in 4 again and type in what your occupation is, because I'm curious what your occupation is. And Terry Burton, 4, I dropped out and paid it off. All right, fair enough. Netflix being the only one that tops Twitter for employee contributions towards the Democratic Party is 99.6%. Like if the ideology is like so skewed one way, what is going on? What is going on entirely? But yeah, it definitely reflects what has been happening on Twitter. Because what really? Honestly, this one cracked me up. When you realize that Tesla you bought helped Elon Musk buy Twitter. Cracks me up. Yeah, I tried to hit 1,000 followers on Twitter today, and boom, I made it. Bam. Smash that. Smash that. While you're at it, smash that like button. Thank you guys so much for joining in this evening and helping me get there. Because I know it's a stupid vanity thing when you get these followers, but you get to a certain point and it's like a threshold. It's one of those things, you feel good about what you did. A certain threshold. Round numbers just feel great. I'm still working on the YouTube one where I think we're 19 or 18,500 away. I want to get that plaque to put on the wall, to the congratulatory, hey, you did something good. YouTube only gives you when you reach 100,000, and that's huge. That is a massive, massive accomplishment in my opinion. But hey, why don't we get into this? Because this is one I wanted to ask, and hey, Clyde, why don't you tell me what we're asking today? My daughter asked me this question the other day at dinner, and she said, "Dad, what is freedom?" And that's an interesting one to try to explain to a 7-year-old. So I had an explanation, and I'm going to explain it and sorry for the tease, but in my live stream tonight. I'm going to be streaming in about 20 minutes. So come. Okay, yeah. That was the question. Where are you at, Clyde? Wondering why you aren't in Ottawa where the action is. I'm in British Columbia, and that's the thing. So I can't just go to Ottawa. Unfortunately, and since the beginning of the convoy, that's been the case. Just doing everything I can to bring as much information out there from where I'm at and with the abilities that I have. And I'm wearing the wrong glasses here. Sorry. I bought these. They're my readers. I don't really like how they fit. I'm getting some new ones soon. But these are my work glasses, and I got a pair that are going to be more comfortable like that. Yay, BC! Yeah, British Columbia. We're a far ways away. We're a whole continent away from the action. But yeah, so a lot of people from BC went all the way. My buddy Sam, he's actually just making his way back now. He's been out there since February. Well, since January. He left in January, and he's been out there the whole time. It's crazy. We're gonna have to throw a party for him when he gets back. Watching Viva and you. Nice. Tell Viva I'm live, and I'd love to chat with him sometime. Tell him that in his chat. It'd be amazing to have a chat with Viva. I've been following him since like way before all this stuff came about. And yeah, big respect for Viva Frei. For Dave. Sorry. What a guy. Yeah, but yeah, they just used pepper spray. Okay, well, I wanted to get into this question. So the question is, your kid comes to you with a 7-year-old mind that, I don't know, if you're a good parent, you've helped your kid develop their mind into some sort of rational human being that can make decisions for themselves and not be told everything, but to come up with their own thoughts and their own ideas. And the word freedom has been going around so much and I talk about it all the time, obviously, not just on the channel, but yeah, talking about freedom. And my daughter says at dinner the other day, Dad, what is freedom? What is it? And I had to think for a second, like, oh, okay, well, how do I go about answering this question? And there are a lot of good answers. I wonder if anybody's not a lot of people have said anything in response there yet, but so there are a lot of good answers, and there's a lot of things you can say what you can do with freedom, right? So I had to take a minute and say, how do I answer this? Right? And me and the wife were looking at each other. Oh, all right. How do we do this? And one thing I like to do is I like to break things down to their most fundamentals, right? You bring them down to their most fundamental thing that makes it a thing. And freedom, in my opinion, and this is, people might differ from what I believe here, but freedom, in my opinion, is a respect for property rights. It's a belief that the individuals own property and can hold property and not have those rights infringed. And the reason why it gets down to this basic fundamental is freedom is the concept of self-ownership, and to think that property rights won't be infringed and you owning yourself is the concept of freedom itself. Now, freedom comes with all kinds of responsibilities. It comes with, and it's so cliche, freedom isn't free, but like, no, ownership comes with responsibility. Ownership comes with the idea that you have to take care of the things that you own, or they'll wither away, or, you could give it away. And that's what a lot of people are doing with the idea of freedom. It's the respect for people to be as retarded as they please. Like that. I like that. Thanks, noob. Always spot on. But yeah, freedom for me comes, and this was, I don't know, this was difficult for me to explain, but the idea of breaking things down to their most basic fundamental concept is the idea that if it's the difference between pushing a kid on a bike and teaching them how to ride the bike themselves. So, give a man a fish and he can eat for a day, but teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime. Is the concept of giving people logic so that they can come to the conclusion on their own. I find as soon as you figure out the logic of a situation, then you don't need to remember facts or anything like that. So the concept being that freedom is self-ownership. And when you own yourself, then you have the freedom to choose what you do with yourself. And then all other freedoms sort of stem from that. And yeah, that's what I answered to my daughter. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then obviously, yeah, you're free to do the things that you'd like to do, pursue happiness, pursue great things, or just let it slip through your fingers and just give it away, and that's basically what a lot of people do with their freedom, and it's it's a thing that people choose to do, but I don't think it should be in the right of other people to choose that for you. And this is what we're all coming together for, is this concept of guaranteeing our freedoms. Absolutely, Clyde. Self-ownership. We were born free. That's correct. And I mean, you can bring in all kinds of philosophical or religious fervor to that, but I think that's the root of freedom, is the concept of self-ownership, that someone else doesn't own you. And currently, and in previous times, like in serfdom and during with kingdom rules and stuff like that, is the idea that you don't have self-ownership, and I disagree, and I reject these ideas. I think those are not good ideas. No, it is not correct. Oh, well, some people disagree. That's that's the thing. Some people believe in collectivism and the collective good, and I always find that one difficult when talking with people that believe in collectivism, because I've never yet found a collectivist that didn't have self-ownership at their heart for themselves. Collectivism for everybody else, as long as it goes along with what they want. And that's where the discrepancy comes with the concept of that. So that's where I am with that one, and I hope that's a good enough explanation. Sometimes it's hard to follow along with the chat as I'm going here, but that's where I'm at. Hypocrisy is the thing of collectivism. I found that, like, if you read Karl Marx's work, Karl Marx, he was a giant hypocrite as well. But I mean, his theory was just bad on a lot of reasons. But it wasn't a new idea. It was just Plato's Republic, the idea of I know how to organize society. It would be great if a bunch of the really smart people ruled over everybody. Hey, guess what? And I'm one of those smart people. That's usually the concept there. Freedom, and the individualism and the idea of self-ownership in the market economy all came about later, after a long time. After the Enlightenment was really close at that time. Really close during the French Revolution, really close during the Scholastics, and then we saw it in the American Revolution, and it's been fantastic. It's lots of thinkers that came about and came up with these great ideas that we're all benefiting from now. And to think that the Romans are back, right? To think that we're gonna throw it all away for what? Plunder will make you feel good in the moment, but it's not wealth. Plunder is not wealth. It's actually an illusion. It's wealth consumption. Plunder. Ayn Rand wrote a lot about that. Atlas Shrugged, great book. Lots of parallels to today. A lot of people talk about 1984. And that's relevant, but Atlas Shrugged, very, very relevant to today. Okay, I got a bunch more in there, but let's go over some stuff. I'm gonna close some of these tabs because I've got a million of them open. too many tabs open. But we're looking at the scene here in Ottawa right now, and this is Ottawalks channel, and he's showing people out there.
I want to be prepared for tomorrow. So
yeah, I don't want to stream too much of other people's stuff. I mean, this is obviously Ottawalks' intellectual property because he's out there doing it. I'm sure he doesn't mind me shouting him out though, so that helps. That's definitely a thing to do. My first Friday night live, and I'm 23 minutes late, so I've rewound to the start from the beginning, just wondering if you'd be watching any lives from the Rolling Thunder Ottawa. That's funny because you are watching not right now, you're watching 20 minutes ago, and you're going to hear me saying this in 20 minutes, and you're going to be laughing because here I am watching the lives. Sorry, Clyde, I'll watch later. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, this is Ottawalks. He's live. And then we had Dave with the flattering pause cam. This is Dave earlier today. Let's see what he had to say. He went live, but he scooted off before anything happened.
Back on home stomping grounds in Ottawa.
A little loud,
Great
sorry.
to be here. Little bit of a gong show getting down here. My goodness, total police overkill, as I mentioned the other night. Just checkpoints all over and cops all over the place.
Oh, good night, Jelly Duck.
Anyway, it's a little nuts, but finally got myself down here. Yeah, again, reminder everyone, just be peaceful, respect the officers, and it's definitely overkill what's going on, but we're gonna have a great event. Anyway, so we're here at in front of Parliament.
So obviously too many cops for what's going on. Way overkill. Now, I wonder if anyone's gonna go back to the municipal government and say, hi, we paid all these taxes for something that's just a big waste of money at the end of the day. Who's going to reimburse the municipality? And, well, I don't want my federal tax dollars going towards them wasting money. I can understand being prepared for an event and what have you, but yeah, this is definitely a thing. War Campaign streamed for 3 to 4 hours live. I'll have to check that out. I'm not familiar with that channel, but yeah, definitely overspent their budget there. And government overkill? No, what? Yeah, you're right. You're right, noob. You're right. But yeah, they definitely go overboard. Looks like a pretty good turnout, and this was early in the day. And there's a police cop going by, talking to some happy people. A lot of people lining up to do what looks like a little parade. It must be warm there. Holy cow, that woman's wearing a tank top. Or a camisole. What would you call that? Unbelievable. But yeah, people having a great time. Freedom Fighters Canada. I love seeing this stuff, man. This is so good. Yeah, this is great. Seems to me that the that crushed always claims the government overspent. Yeah. Shout out from Oregon. Great show, brother. Thank you. Thank you so much, Derek. Yeah. So great turnout, looks like. And this isn't even the day of the event. So we spoke to, well, I had Neil from the Hill on last weekend on the last Friday night stream, and he's going to be there, and he was talking about how many people are showing up and what their plans are exactly. And this is a completely different group. This is Freedom Fighters Canada, so they're doing their own thing. And the bikers are they're rolling up in town, and they're gonna crash because they're expecting a big day tomorrow of riding. So tomorrow they're gonna get out there, and they're gonna get on their bikes, and they're gonna go down to the Cenotaph, And there you go. Oh, Jelly Duck, thanks for the membership. Awesome. Welcome aboard. You did something. Welcome. And yeah, so they're gonna go down to the cenotaph, to the war memorial, and they're gonna lay that wreath, and then they're gonna ride out of town, and everything is gonna be peaceful. Everybody's promising a peaceful day, and we'll see. We'll see, because apparently there's some meatheads that are claiming that they're gonna come out and cause trouble for the bikers. Now, if your interest is not to have trouble in your town, why would you go out and cause trouble with people who are coming to do a peaceful thing? That doesn't make much sense to me. I think that's just a dumb thing to do, in my opinion. Especially a group of bikers. Like, come on, and they're veterans. What are you doing? I mean, and the PR just does not look good. PR doesn't look good. Especially the mayor, and I'm gonna get to that because what a doughhead. Damn it, Jim! I'm a mechanic, not a politician. Look at these guys having a great time hugging, making friends. Oh, the big bad demonstrations. Yeah. So it was later on. Look at these guys dancing on the track. I think that truck stayed on that street. So I'm not sure what's going on. We're gonna have to figure out what the situation is exactly. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of digging and watching these live streams to find out all the information that I can find out, and tell you guys exactly what's going down. So all I know so far is that there was one girl that got punched. That seems to be a thing. It seems like some of the they're gonna say it's not tear gas. They're gonna call it a vaporized chemical irritant was deployed. Yeah, so there was some of that happened this evening. I don't know about it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen footage of it. So I can't be certain on that. Oh, there's Viva. Look at that. There's Viva Frei on Dave's stream. But yeah. Those trucks were towed, drivers arrested. The cops called it an occupation. An occupation. Because you just rolled through town. Look at this guy with the same hair as Viva. Are they related? Is there any way that those two are related? That's amazing. Look at that. He's let it loose. Holy cow. Has he let it loose? I don't think I could get away with that. I'm a mechanic. It would get caught in the machinery. It would get caught in the cogs. You know what I mean? It's just the way. That's the way it is. Yeah, Viva Frei. Oh, if I got a mod in the channel, yeah, mods, get that hot girls out of here. But yeah, so that's what's happening so far. And this is well, this is a stream from earlier. This is Dave's stream from live from the shed. So check that out. I should make sure that I put any of the links for any of these lives. I'll put them in the description so later anyone watching this can go watch those back as well. So that there's always just like a link trail, you know what I mean? So that you can find where you want to go to see who's talking about what. Clyde, on Viva's stream just now, a passer by claimed some cops closed in on some people and knocked them over. By the way, some are in full riot gear. Wow. So I saw some of that. I saw a bit of that. They had their pew-pews right out, not drawn and pointing at anybody, but I don't know if I can say the word, but pew-pew. Say pew-pew. They had their pew-pews out. And they weren't just any pew-pews. They were some serious pew-pews. You know the big bad scary pew-pews that Trudeau doesn't want law-abiding citizens to have. Yeah, those ones. That's what they looked like. They looked like that. You know, the ones they're only scary because they have ergonomic handles on them. I don't understand that. What? Imagine this. Imagine you went into a tool shop and they had like the ergonomic section. And in the ergonomic section, you had to get a special license. You had to get a full background check. And you weren't allowed to use them on any site. You had to go to only certain special sites to use the ones with the ergonomic handles. So like you could have a saw, you know, an electric saw or an electric grinder that'll give you carpal tunnel. But if you want the one that's got the good handle on it so you can get the job done and not destroy your tendons, that one, sorry, restricted. And maybe at a moment's notice, or even not even notifying you, we're gonna make you a criminal by making that ergonomic tool illegal on a whim because it's scary looking. that's Canadian pew pew laws. That's the way it is. Yeah, pew pews. That's right, pew pews. That's how we handle the pew pews in Canada. But yeah, here's Ottawalks. Not a lot going on his channel right now. He's maybe off in the weeds. Maybe that's the case. But I'm not even sharing. Here's what's going on. He's off in the weeds, doing don't know what. Well, maybe I know what. Anyway, so let's get to some of the news. If anybody has any breaking stuff that you want me to talk about, let me know in the chat. But I want to get to some of the stuff that's happening. Oh, Prism Live Studio. What? Broadcast is over. Okay, so I'm guessing that was it. There wasn't too much going on for how many people were there. Not a huge drama or anything like that. A lot of people having a good old time, meeting up with people. Congrats on the 1G. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, because yeah, that's 1,000 on Twitter. Broke that today. But here, let's have a look at some articles. I want to go over this really quick again. This is the unwelcoming party because people are so hospitable in Ottawa, apparently. Now, see, the thing is, I just judging from all of the live streams that I watched, most people, I believe, in Ottawa are quite hospitable. You just have this minority of just the whingiest, just the schmarmiest individuals. I'm surprised he doesn't have the giant earplugs, because that's maybe I'm stereotyping. But hey, unwelcoming party planned in response to Rolling Thunder rally in Ottawa. We have to do something to make sure that they feel unwelcome. Well, yeah, maybe a few of you will do that. Still real, and this is my main point. Okay, if you buy a piece of property next to the landfill, you can't complain about the smell. If you move next to an asphalt plant, you can't complain about the smoke. If you move next to a foundry with a ball mill, you can't complain about the noise. You can't. If you move next to the highway, you can't complain about not being able to sleep at night. If you move next to it's just I could go on forever. But if you move to Ottawa, our nation's capital, and you expect to not have interruptions from time to time because of protests, or because of, if you move to your mom's house, nice one, noob. But yeah, if you expect to not be interrupted by protests, you got another thing coming entirely. you've got another thing coming, because especially today, in today's age, where governments are overreaching like mad, expect delays. Expect it. Just honestly expect it. That's the way it is. So yeah, this guy obviously, no, but schmarmy. I'm schmarmy. I don't want these events coming to my town, especially not. I'm gonna make sure the veterans are unwelcome. Are you kidding me? You know, make sure veterans are unwelcome for an organization that's coming together to respect the war memorial. Still reeling from this week's long. Nice. Still reeling from the weeks-long freedom convoy occupation that brought the city downtown core to a standstill earlier this year. Anxious Ottawa resident, maybe they found two, say they want participants of this coming weekend's biker rally to know that they are not welcome in the community. All right. Community Solidarity Ottawa, a coalition of community organizers, residents, and labor unions, is planning on hosting an unwelcome party. You're part of a labor union and you don't like inconveniences. That's just like the things that people just don't. It just doesn't sink in. It's so thick. Oh God. Is planning on hosting an unwelcome party on Friday against those taking part in Rolling Thunder motorcycle rally. The idea is to showcase immediately that residents in Ottawa are not happy with the presence of another protest that threatens to disrupt and impede residents. So because we don't like protests, we're gonna organize a protest against the protest. We don't like what? Where are we? I'm really getting dizzy in this cycling toilet bowl of logic. It's terrible. So we don't like protests, so we're gonna organize a protest against the protest. So we're anti-protest. The event came together after CSO virtual community briefing on Monday to discuss the protest revealed strong concerns from community members, said Brian Latour, the CSO organizer. We have to do something to make sure that they feel unwelcome, he said. Well, who cares? They're not there for you. So that's a funny thing. So the feeling of being unwelcome, it weighs a weight on you. Like you can feel the weight of it when you care about the person who's has feelings of unwelcomeness. You know what I mean? They're not there for you. They're not there for you. I think that's the idea. Chinanada. How do you say that? Chinanada is a prison? Yes. Stupidity driven. Can't fix stupid. Can you fix stupid? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, this unwelcome party. The event is tentatively planned for Friday at 5 p.m. at Sriracha Park. I don't know how you say that. Strathcona Park. Strathcona Park. CSO was also to host a safety culture briefing. What is safety culture briefing? A release. CSO stated the goal with the event is to greet Rolling Thunder supporters and provide a point of convergence for community opposition to Convoy 2.0. It's not Convoy 2.0. Wow, these people, they stand in such opposition to something that they just don't even like take a second to read about or learn about. But yeah, these guys, I mean, this guy sums it up. I'm sure he's got a, and this, I've been on Twitter long enough that these types of people, they come at you with insults of uneducated. They call you uneducated. So most of them have like, they're scholarly individuals, right? But if your scholarly self can't get a better job than Starbucks, I don't know if you've spent your time wisely, my friend. I think that might be a piece of flair from his shenanigans job, evening job. But I'm making fun of him, aren't I? I'm making fun of him. Anyway, you have the right to protest against them. I just think it's silly, honestly. If anything, you should join with them. But what else do we have to look at? Here we got the mayor of Ottawa, super smart guy. Like, I don't know how he climbed up the ranks from strata co-op, like townhouse complex co-op community organizer to become the mayor of Ottawa. But this guy is clearly inept. And incapable of doing the job. Caught in mid-yawn here. But honestly, I question every time, how did he climb the ranks? I think people they've just been asleep for so long. They're just like, yeah, I don't know. He's liberal or whatever. They just vote a certain way. They don't care who it actually is. Rumor has it James Topp is not a human but a cyborg. For the amount he walks, holy cow. Oh, that reminds me, I got a contact number from Dave for him, for a contact that knows him. I'm gonna try to get a hold of him because I gotta talk to the man. He's just such an inspiration. It's great. I'm crazy busy as well, so hopefully they don't mind that I've taken so long to get in touch with them. But yeah, here's the mayor, Jim Watson, meter maid Jim Meter Maid Watson. I think we'll call him now because of what he says here.
I believe that we're better organized, and we have a plan that has been worked on for the last couple of weeks. We had more lead time knowing about this rally.
Oh, hey, Tyson.
As opposed to the truckers convoy. We heard from the chief the plan of action to protect both residents and business community in and around the downtown core, and as well as the Byward Market. And we have all hands on deck on this. This has been all-consuming. Emergency Operations Center is up and running under the leadership of Steve Kanalakis, and Kim Ayot, and our chief. We're all here with us today, along with other key players with the city personnel.
So he was going on and saying about how this time we got a lot of heads up. They drove the convoy during the convoy when they showed up at the end of January. They drove across the country slowly. They slow rolled the country. You had plenty of heads up. They contacted you. They told you what was up. They told you what was going on. And that's just it. I just got a shout out from Viva Frei. I'm actually live right now. Haha, sweet. Good work, man. Good work. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of jealous. I haven't gotten I don't think I'm on Viva Frei's radar. I don't even think he knows who I am. And that's an accomplishment, man. So cheers. Awesome. That's really cool. That's really cool. If you guys don't know Tyson Hockley, go check out his channel. I inadvertently took a clip from him. I didn't know that on one of my videos. Last month? Just a clip that was circling around on Twitter of Justin Trudeau coming out of a building in where was it? It was in Victoria, BC, and that was Tyson's channel. And well, somebody just grabbed it and put it on Twitter, and then I just grabbed it from Twitter and showed it in a video. But yeah, it was from his channel, and I gave credit in the description and put a link to his channel on the pinned comment at the top. But yeah, definitely go Go check him out. Young guy, really just eager to get out there and tell people the truth. Amazing. So yeah, man, get out there. Check him out. Tyson Hockley, amazing dude. But yeah, definitely jealous on the shout out from Viva Frei. But here's Jim, where's the heads up, Watson? Jim didn't see it coming, Watson. Jim never got the memo from the police about the statement that they're going to be posting on Twitter today, Watson. I did chuckle, haha. But yeah, so here he is saying they didn't have heads up, but they got heads up this time, so they're fully prepared with way too much police.
So no one wants a repeat of what happened during the truckers' convoy, and that's why...
No, nobody wants the incompetence of yourself. Again. We don't want that to happen again. And then you to pull in the jackboots against peaceful protesters. But the guys on bikes, they're not protesting. They're going to the war memorial, and then they're leaving town. That's their mission. Other people are protesting, but you're the nation's capital. Get over it. Sorry, Jimbo.
I believe that we're more proactive and better prepared to deal with the issue. And we have great support from our OPP colleagues, as well as the RCMP and other municipal police forces working hand in hand with bylaw. And
if you don't know these acronyms, the OPP is the Ontario Provincial Police. The RCMP is the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. So that would be like, so the OPP would be if you're American, it would be the equivalent of like state police. And then the RCMP would be the equivalent of the feds, right? So like FBI or whatever. But that's that. And then you would have your municipal police, and that's the Ottawa Police Services, the OPS. Just so you know what the acronyms mean, because a lot of the Ontario Pig Posse, yeah, these things, people just throw around acronyms as if everybody understands what they mean. I try my best to make sure people understand what these acronyms mean, because it can get confusing.
There's a zero tolerance policy. If you're parked illegally with your motorcycle, you're going to be ticketed, and you're possibly going to be towed. So it's not worth your while coming all the way here to have your vehicle put in the impound because you were parked in the no stopping zone.
So this is why I call him Jim Meter Maid Watson, because now he's like, well, it'd be a real shame if you got towed because of a parking infraction. We're seeing guys getting towed for occupying, just driving in and stopping for a while. But Dave from Live from the Shed, he put out a video earlier showing that they just added a bunch of new no parking signs all over the joint. So there's just like nowhere to park. So like you ride in on a bike, where are you going to put your bike? You can't stop for a coffee. Nope. You can't stop to talk to somebody. You can't stop to do whatever. So he's doing whatever he can to just make life difficult. I mean, like I said, it's just like the guy who runs your neighborhood co-op. You know, you got that one guy who's just like, dude, get a life. He just wants to ruin everything for everybody with no real reason. This is the guy. He's like, oh, you're not supposed to park too close to the fire hydrant. You were within 15 feet of it. I'm calling the cops. That's that guy. This is Jim. No fun allowed. Exactly. Jim Watson, please take Trudeau to China with you. The funny thing is they wouldn't like these guys in China. They'd be like, you guys are a bunch of sissies. Get out of here. Get to the point. Stop dancing around stuff. Let's just, negotiations are negotiations. I know. It just gets me so frustrated, these type of people.
So we're asking those individuals who have the right to freely come into our city to be respectful of both our residents and our businesses and our infrastructure. and not to provoke some of the kind of racist, sexist, homophobic nonsense that we saw with the truckers convoy.
You got Hillary Clinton here now. Hillary Clinton with the basket of deplorables. They just can't help themselves. Just can't help themselves. What did I write? I gotta pull this up because I wrote in the description of today's video where I was talking about Jimmy Boy. Jim Watson. What a clown. Honestly. What a clown. Just try to pull this up here. Mayor Jim Meter Maid Watson speaks about the upcoming event Rolling Thunder Ottawa that is expected on the 29th and 30th. He couldn't help himself from misrepresenting the participants in his statement like a type of political slanderous Tourette syndrome. It's just like sexist, misogynist, homophobic. You just can't get away from saying it. Like, what's wrong with these people? You can't just like actually represent people. I think Jordan Peterson said it the best. I watched this in a thing he was saying. Love what you're doing. Keep it up. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Jordan Peterson had a speech he was doing. I can't remember where it was, but it was a recent video that came out, and he was talking about engaging people in debate or in conversation, or if you disagree with somebody. The best thing to do is to fully understand their position. Like, actually understand where they're coming from, and not in some way where you can straw man them. Like, not in a way where you're pulling a Kathy Newman where you're like, I see what you're saying is you hate people. You know, that's not coming from somebody's position. You're straw manning. You're using tactics at this point. No, the best way to engage with somebody, if your goal is actually to be fruitful in the endeavor, if your goal is to actually like change somebody's mind or change the audience's mind, people who are listening in on the conversation, because most often you're not going to change the person's mind that you're discussing with, but you may change the mind of people who are around you while you're discussing this, because, well, people have a particular fervor about them, especially these days, where when they're met with opposition to their opinions, they dig their heels in with even more fervor, and it's unbelievable. But what Dr. Peterson was saying, and I took this one to heart, was the idea that you should really understand and listen to the other person. You may not agree with their ideas, but you should understand what their ideas are, and have a good understanding of what their ideas are, so that you can repeat back to them what you believe that their ideas are. And like I said, not in a Kathy Newman sort of way, but in a way that actually represents how they're depicting reality and how they perceive reality to be. And if you can do that, then you'll be so much better. Well, they might change your mind. You might change your mind about things, and that's about being open-minded. But you may still disagree with them at that point, and that's the best position to come from, is a position of understanding, right? I understand how you came to this conclusion. I understand how you got here, but here's where I can't square the circle on your ideology, right? I can't come to it's called reflective listening. There you go. So yeah, this is the difference between shouting at each other and actually discussing things with each other. And this is what we've forgotten how to do in society. We've forgotten how to discuss things with each other and have deep, thoughtful, philosophical discussions about where we want society to be going. And especially right now, where we have two completely divergent crowds of thought, or streams of thought in two different crowds. We have people who genuinely believe that a path of a collective a collective path towards something. Is not that we haven't tried this before in the past, but they believe that we with sarcasm, lots of it. Yeah, right. I'm great at understanding. My brother is a commie in Toronto, so I get a lot of talking points. Yeah, but that's it. They're just talking points. Try to understand the concept. I've read Marx. I've read Marx and Engels. I mean, I've read a lot from the commie, pinko commies, the syndicalists. I've read a lot of these points of view, and I've discussed a lot with people who have these points of view. What I find is those people, they don't breach out of their thought, and that's how they end up in the position. I spoke to someone I disagreed with about 2 weeks ago, who was completely on the other side, right? But the thing is, the best thing to do is to find common ground. What this one person kept saying over and over again was, capitalism's the problem. Capitalism's the problem. This is all because of capitalism, right? So instead of just attacking back and saying socialism's even worse, you know what I mean? It's like a whataboutism kind of argument. I instead decided to ask, well, what is it about capitalism that's bad? And before you move on with your answer, let's come to an agreement on what capitalism means. So capitalism is this idea, and it was a term coined by Karl Marx to slander the market economy. So the market economy is an economic idea that people can come freely together in commerce and trade amongst each other, and that's it. Some people believe in laissez-faire. Some people believe in a bit of a more, a regulated economy where the government can say you can and can't do certain things in the economy. But what is the issue with the market economy? So if capitalism, quote unquote, is the problem here, and and a person would be saying that capitalism is the problem with social demographics or social issues, well, then how is the market economy the fault of that? And how would removing the market economy fix the problem? And then, so here we go. Now we've framed the discussion completely differently. Now we're not using talking points. We're actually going, okay, well, I'll take the meat of what you're saying, and let's talk about that. Are we speaking in the same terms? Are we even speaking the same language? It's like taking two different codes of computer languages and trying to butt them together. You're not gonna get anything out the other end, right? There's no common language, so you have to reach some sort of common language. And I think the best thing for breaking people up and separating people is making all this terminology that each side doesn't agree with the terms or definitions of words mean. So I think by breaking conversation down from keywords and things like that, actually understanding where people are coming from, but then also giving good explanations back to them on how to move forward is the best way of going about this. I don't know how I got on this tangent, but I just kept going and I just kept talking about it. But yeah, I think I definitely think that understanding people better is a better way of engaging with individuals. And especially on the side of government, I'm really disappointed. Like, I'm really, really, really disappointed in our representatives. And I mean representatives on both sides. So we have people who are claiming that they were, oh yeah, we were with the truckers and we were supportive of the truckers. Well, why didn't you talk to any of them? You've got conservatives coming out saying, yeah, we were supportive. Humblebee, what up, brother? We were supportive, but you didn't talk to them. You didn't come out. They had press conferences. You didn't show up. Why? Because you were nervous. You were nervous about how it was going to turn out. How is this going to go where is this going to put me in a position for the next election? Is there going to be a hit piece on me? Can I risk doing this by talking to this group of individuals that have a grievance? No, they decided not to talk to anybody. And I'm talking on both sides. They had 3 weeks of people living in trucks outside of their workplace, and they didn't come out and talk to any of them. Like, that is just, it's absurd. It's absurd. It's so disappointing that none of them came out to meet up. Yeah, they supposed to represent you, right? That's the thing. So very disappointed. So very disappointed. A lot of people are hyped up on Pierre Poilievre right now because he is going out and he's meeting with people, and there's a lot of fervor behind his campaign, and there's a lot of that. But there is a bit of disappointment. I do feel a disappointment that he didn't come out and actually speak with these people who had grievances. You know, I agree, but we know why. Well, I know why needs to change. That's what needs to change. We all need to take risks. This whole idea of dancing around and being safe sucks, and it's getting us nowhere good fast. So we need to take risks. We need to get out there and say, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't agree with everything that these individuals have to say, but I agree with the gist of what they're getting at. You know? Pierre Poilievre came out? Okay, well, maybe I stand corrected. I want to look more into that. But I know that there's criticism of him not really coming to support the truckers that showed up. But, you know, people need to take risks. They need to take risks. And I get it. The media will come out and slander them. That's the idea. But who trusts the media anymore? I mean, what was the news? What was in the news recently? How much did it cost CNN? And I know this is American news, but this is CNN Plus. They paid $250 million, $250 million last year to get this CNN Plus online platform going. And the best they could do was muster up 10,000 viewers. I get that every day on this channel. Can you believe that? It's just insane to me. CNN Plus, $250 million to get this thing going, and they could only pull in 10,000 followers. 10,000 people. It's insane. It's insane. It just goes to show nobody cares. Nobody wants to watch it. But the politicians will follow what these agencies say. And only for so long, though. Only for so long, because their real might and their real sway and pull they're dwindling. I mean, we wouldn't be having a ministry of truth being formed in the federal government in the United States right now if that weren't the case. But yeah. Go Maxime Bernier. I'm a big fan of the idea of the PPC. And this is going to be one of those debates coming up soon. Do people go straight for the Conservatives under good leadership just to get Trudeau out like they always do? This is the kind of circular Canadian political movement. Is the Conservatives do a bad job, and then everybody gets angry at the Conservatives, so they bring the Liberals in who are going to do an equally bad job or a worse job, and then just here goes the cycle again. Or are people going to vote for the PPC? Or is the PPC just going to split the vote and get another Trudeau minority government in? And why does anybody vote for NDP? You lost me. That's come on, Clyde. We know Western votes don't count. They don't. And that's terrible. That is terrible. The last election, they called it. They called it before they even got the BC vote in. They just called it. That was it. How many acres needed, huh? How many you got for sale? What? Okay, I don't know what that conversation is. What do we got going on there? I've got enough of I've had enough of looking at that guy's mug. Sorry. I was looking at Jim Watson there. He was still on my screen. Okay, where do we want to go for this? Do we want to get super dark into this? I'm going to bring this up. I don't know how far deep I'm going to dive into this one because I don't know if I really want to get into it that much tonight, but I'm going to mention it because it's in the news and it's an article and it's a thing that's being discussed at the moment. Breaking away from that end of politics and stuff to jump into this. And yeah, this guy on Twitter, TikTok news is just funny. I don't know if I could ever be a TikToker, but just the way they do things here.
This is huge. Check this out. Evidence that Canada trained Ukrainian extremists. Like who? The Azov Battalion, who are neo-nut bars. Why do you think the Trudeau government is so comfortable working with neo-nut bars?
I like how he says that. Neo-nut bars. I don't know. I don't understand the TikTok appeal. You got to have hip-hop music playing in the background. You got to have the quick cuts like your Philip DeFranco in 2004 or something. It's yeah, not my taste. Neo nut bars. I do like that. I do like the neo nut bars. That's it sounds like a German candy. The neo nut bars. Buy yours now. Yeah, exactly. CTV did report on this, and this is unbelievable. I had to show you this because I just think there are different ways of aggregating the news. I do my thing. You guys seem to enjoy that. This guy does his thing. He's got a following for what he does. Just the hip hop thing. I just doesn't appeal to me. I like hip hop music, but it's like it doesn't match what he's doing. Oh well, neo nut bars. Here we go. Mounting evidence that Canada trained Ukrainian extremist, government needs to be held to account. Experts. So this is interesting. Remember this writer. Let's just remember this. Christy Somos, National News Associate Producer. This is April 28th. So this is yesterday. This news dropped, and this is a thing that came out. With mounting evidence pointing to the Canadian Armed Forces having trained members of the Ukraine's military who are also reported to be part of extremist groups, experts say Ottawa needed to strongly bolster its investigation into vetting the soldiers it trains and arms in the embattled country. The Department of National Defense promised a thorough review of Canada's mission in Ukraine after ctvnews.ca approached them for comment in October 2021 regarding a report from George Washington University that found extremists in Ukraine military were bragging about being trained by Canadians as part of Operation Unifer. The group in question, which calls itself the Military Order Centuria, or simply Centuria, has links to the far-right Azov movement. So there's more to the article. I'll get back to that. The reason why I said this, because as soon as I saw this article come out, I was like, this is not news. This is not news at all. Because here's Ottawa Citizen. Canada failed when it trained Ukrainian troops linked to the far right, says nut bar hunter. This guy, he's after nut bars. This is an article talking about that as well. Here's another article. Allegations of Canadian troops training neo-nut bars and war criminals sparks military review. And this is back in November 8th of 2021. Far-right extremists in Ukraine brag that they have received training from Canadian Forces, report October 4th. Now, the reason why I get into this, there's more articles. We get back, and here's Christy Somos, who reported on this in October 2021, which was stated in the other article. I'm just going to close all these other ones. I got too many tabs open. I don't know how. I had to get a pretty powerful computer to do what I'm doing here. Just destroy the RAM with just with the tabs. Chrome's a heavy program. I don't know why. But yeah, so they referred to this. So this is an article. I covered this before. And then this is the Centuria. Far-right extremists in Ukraine military bragged about Canadian training expert says. Musk banned Gates on Twitter? That's not true. That's not true. Photo used. Okay. So this is the report. A report exploring the far-right Ukrainians military found that neo-nut bars and supporters of the far-right groups. I like that now. I used to just call them bad guys. I like that one too, though. In the ranks, bragged about receiving training from Canada and other NATO nations, prompting promises of thorough review from the Department of Defense. Anyway, long story short, we've been messing around with some bad people. Let's just put it that way. And it doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't feel good with me because I don't really have a dog in the fight over the whole Russia-Ukraine situation. I know there are anti-war people on both sides in both countries. And I'm definitely way the heck over here with the same sentiment. I think war-torn countries, honestly, this is just a ploy for the military-industrial complex to go in and just loot the joint. And they just make money. Somebody get rid of that person in the chat, please. But yeah, just looting. It's just looting. It's a way of funneling it's taxpayer money from rich countries into a war-torn war zone, and then funnel that money through weapon sales, and it's just not good. It's not good. But that was what was in the news, and they were talking about it as if it was breaking news, and it wasn't. It was not very new news. And this is why I didn't get into it, because I was like, well, I can't really make a story out of that. To say, oh, guess what? Something's in the news, and it's olds. It's not news. I'm just sitting here on my front porch yelling at kids to get off my front lawn. Nice. Good work, Thor. I agree 100%. Yeah. I can't agree with this whole situation. I know there's an aggressor in this technically. But I can't get behind it. I can't get behind it. I'm not gonna jump in there and say we should, because I don't want to supply guns for fights. I don't want to do it. I can't get behind it, because I know what happens there. I know what happens, and it really is just a lot of people getting rich off of a lot of misery, and that just does not sit well with me at all. So, but that's me covering that. Sorry, I had to dive into that a bit just to be fair and balanced, and I'm covering all kinds of worldly events. The only thing I worry for is the loss of all those Ukrainian girls in my... Oh, come on, man. Get out of here. Get out of here. Right on, Clyde. No weapons. I just don't want to see more war. I don't want to see more war. And we've been lied to get into all these activities in other countries. Why do I believe that this time is not... That's not the case? Why would I believe that? That's just the sentiment that I take from this. But hey, let's get back to some funny stuff. So we all know that Elon Musk took over Twitter, and Twitter's become my new social media home, because I'm just having so much fun there. And I'm just seeing so many of you guys filing over there and having fun with me, because it's been a lot of fun. I was just about to clap in the mic and that would have been terrible. So apologies. Well, I didn't do it. But here we go. Elon Musk told Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to stop hitting on me after she posted a scathing tweet about the tech billionaire with an ego problem. Da, 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 da. If you don't know who this is the completely qualified congresswoman from New York, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She was a waitress and then got picked up by a lobby group as I think she answered an ad for a job as an actress, and they groomed her to be in this part, and then they funded her campaign. Did a process called what do they call it? Primarying. It's where you find an incumbent or whatever that's going for a leadership race in your political party, and you come in with a big campaign in the party itself, and in the primary election, in the debates, you win against that person, and then you become the incumbent person running for office. That's what she did, and she did it with the help of a lot of people with money, but got herself into office, and now she's a prominent socialist. Yeah, big money, telling us the social thing. But anyway, here's her tweet, and it's pretty funny. Tired of having to collectively stress about what explosion of hate crimes is happening because some billionaire with an ego problem unilaterally controls a massive communication platform and skews it because Tucker Carlson or Peter Thiel took him to dinner and made him feel special. Now Elon Musk tweeting back at her, "Stop hitting on me. I'm really shy." I thought that was really funny, and it's hilarious because there's not much more to it in this article. This is media, right? It's like Twitter spats, but they'll write an entire article about it. But yes, then she replied to him saying, "I was talking about Mark Zuckerberg, but okay," trying to reel that back. I guess, yeah, that was the thing. I thought it was funny. Not much else there, but hey, let's look at some other stuff that's happening in politics. We have JT here. Politicized RCMP should have charged Trudeau with fraud. So this is a new story that's in the news, is making the rounds, to a controversy about JT here, Mr. Prime Minister of Canada, allegedly taking bribes from people who lobby the government to get grants. And let's just get into it. So the RCMP almost charged Prime Minister Justin Trudeau over his sleazy visit to Muslim leader Aga Khan's island in 2016, but he decided it wasn't in the public interest to do so. That just demonstrates how irrelevant the force has become in the deciding what is in the public interest. Stopping government corruption is always in the public interest. Charging Trudeau would definitely be in our interest, and this comes from the Western Standard. So you can clearly tell that the slant is not in the CBC or CTV global slant. They're showing a little bit of criticism towards the Prime Minister of Justin Trudeau. Imagine that. Teflon Trudeau, I guess they call him Teflon because he doesn't stick to anything, keeps on ticking. It's just amazing. You may remember when the details of the incident broke in 2017, it made international news. I should know, I was in the Ottawa bureau chief for U.S. publication, and I called it Congate before anyone else could think of it. I didn't think Justin could squirm out of this one, but he did. Here was Trudeau vacationing and using the helicopter of a billionaire who had received $330 million in funding from the federal government. It certainly looked like a clear case of conflict of interest. Trudeau at the time was nonplussed over the whole matter, performing with all what is that word? I have to look that up now. Insecond 8 cylinders. Okay, so trying to be a car reference. He's running on all 8. At a news conference in Peterborough, Ontario, Trudeau was asked if his holiday trip was a mistake, but mistake is not in Trudeau's vocabulary when applied to him. Okay. Anyway, let's get to the meat of it. What happened here is you gotta write articles. You gotta be clever and fanciful with your sentences and stuff. I get it. What's David Cadron. Great writing. It's a little bit wordy for me. A little bit on the wordy side. But let's just get to the meat of it. We got Justin Trudeau. He took bribes, allegedly. So essentially he took bribes for someone who was getting a tremendous amount from the government. And Justin was taking vacations to a private island, doing all this fun stuff. Spent a ridiculous amount of this guy's money. And it turned out that the RCMP that were going to be investigating him were also invited to the party. So, and then suddenly the investigation dropped. And that was it. So nobody pressed charges. Nobody did anything. They just kind of walked away from the whole ordeal. So there's a clear conflict of interest, and there's a clear idea that it's going to be, it was, it looked like fraud. It looked like actual fraud. Now, the RCMP came back and said, well, how would it look if we're to charge the sitting Prime Minister of Canada? That would look terrible. Would it not? But we got to look at it on the other side. Well, if the guy does commit fraud, would it look does it look terrible that you're not going to prosecute the guy because he's the sitting PM? So what is that? Is that carte blanche for any sitting PM to commit any fraud or break the laws? But that's essentially what's going on. So there was a bit of contention about the ability to give yourself permission, and this is where it kind of gets it's got to go into lawyer territory. I'm going to consult Viva Frei over this thing, but apparently the thing that they couldn't nab him on is he didn't give himself permission. The Prime Minister is the office that is supposed to give permission, approval. For tacit approval needs to be fixed, right? It has to be tacitly approved by the Prime Minister's office to be able to accept a gift like this or whatever. And what happened was that wasn't part of the case, and they didn't ask him or whatever. But apparently, in question period, that came up, and he mentioned that he gave himself approval or incriminated himself somehow. So now the case is opening back up, and it looks like there may be a criminal investigation into the sitting Prime Minister of Canada for fraud, for having taken bribes by a super rich dude that owns an island in order to get grants to just give away taxpayer dollars to the guy. So it's just like, what world do we live in? Is this some banana republic? Is this like, I understand that people believe that he's the son of Castro, but does he have to behave like he's the son of Castro? Like he was raised by Castro? Like, that's just ridiculous. This is not This is not what we think of Western democracy. That it's just some like open fish market of fraud and pillaging, where you could just come in and buy every politician, including the top politician, right? The top, the guy at the very top. So the Prime Minister of Canada, he was groomed. That's yeah, but that's a World Economic Forum thing. I don't think he was groomed by Castro himself. But here we are, and that's where we are in Canada right now. We're in a situation where, and I get it. Like regulatory bodies, they're bought off all the time. Wow, those best webcams really like my stream tonight. I guess I must be popular on the website because they only hit the popular streams. Best of luck to ya, hot girls and boys. I guess they're going for all demographics now. Jeez, bots. This is why we need Elon Musk to buy YouTube. Get rid of the bots. Thor, do I need a mod? I have mods. See, they took care of it already. If anybody's interested in being a mod, you have to get to know the crew. That's for sure. I have mods that take care of the Discord and take care of the chat when I'm live here. And yeah, I've got some of the best mods around. Of course. But yeah, this is the country that we're living in. We expect it. It's kind of a thing. Clyde, be the hot boy girl for viewing this evening. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even want to get into the whole like gender thing tonight. Or do I? I'll end it on that. Let's get to that in a second. Yes. When the old phrase is, when a market is regulated, the first thing in that market to be bought and sold is the regulators. And that's just a given. But when and that's where all the corruption is. That's where the corruption in the West has been for a long time. It's been in industry. You got people begging, regulate this industry, and the industry's like, yes, regulate us, because we're gonna buy the guys that regulate it. We're gonna be in there writing it with them, and the reason we're gonna be in there is because we're gonna make sure nobody else can come in and compete. We're gonna cut the first few rungs off of that ladder so nobody else can come in and compete with us, and that's the way it's been. So anyone who's just, yeah, regulate me harder, daddy. That's the concept. So yeah, if you regulate an industry, the first thing to be bought and sold is the regulators, bar none. And who buys them? Well, the top dogs, and then they end up being the top dogs forever. And that's how cartels are born. Cartels can't last on their own without governments enforcing cartels. Because the way a cartel works is you got a bunch of companies that come together. They're all in competition with each other, and they say, hey, we need to fix the prices, but we can't do that on our own because we'll undermine each other. Because this is what happens. Let's all raise the prices. And then this guy's like, yeah, but this weekend, there's a lot of people coming. I could get, $2 less and everybody will come to me. And then they'll make a huge profit margin, and they'll always undercut each other. So what they do is they go to the government and they say, hey, we got this arrangement. You guys need to enforce this arrangement. And then that's where cartels are born. This is how this all happens. But anyway, that's how it's been. But now it looks as though from these allegations that our top dog in the government, not even just a bureaucratic regulator, is taking bribes for our tax dollars. And that's hideous. And if it's true, out you go. We all wanted him to go anyway, but out you go. Do you think that's going to actually be the case? I don't know. And I really don't have a lot of faith in it. Honestly, I don't have a lot of faith that they're going to dig that hard. But that's the thing. Now, I promised it. Before we go, I'll bring up the gender thing. Oh, this is ridiculous. Here's my take on gender. Gender is a construct, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a linguistic construct. okay, people and animals have sexes. And yeah, there's going to be like those weird cases where, like intersex or malformed, whatever. But you got XX and you got XY. There you go. Peter in the chat. You got it. You want a meme of the week? I gave it. Do I still have it on the screen? I don't. Okay, I got another meme of the week. I'll end it with that. So it is a construct. Gender is a construct. In French, they have the masculine and feminine genders for everything. Tables have masculine or feminine. I can never remember. Excuse me. Which it is. You have le soleil, la lune. So you got a male sun and a female moon. That's the way it goes. Here we go. So there are constructs, but they're constructs in order to describe things. And in English, we have more genders than just masculine and feminine. We have masculine, feminine, indeterminate, and neuter, if you weren't aware of that. So certain things are masculine, certain things are feminine. Like if I said the word bull, you would immediately probably think of a cow, but you would think of cattle, right? And you would think of the male. If I said cow, you would say that would be the female, right? So those words have a gender. There's a construct there, right? And that's the thing. With these university students and Tumblrites and blue hairs and all that stuff, they got it all mixed up. So we've covered the masculine, feminine. We've got masculine, feminine, and then we have indeterminate and neuter. So if I said the word dog is indeterminate. It definitely has a sex. Dogs have sexes, right? So you can determine that by the word it has a sex, but you don't know what sex it is because you just said dog, right? So the idea here is that's indeterminate. Another thing that's indeterminate would be human. So you can't say man. You can't say, if you said man, that is the masculine, right? It's a descriptor for a male human being. Woman is a descriptor for the definition being an adult human female. Ouch. That was difficult recently. That was very difficult recently. But so the fourth one is neuter. So I have here a pair of glasses. Glasses don't have a sex. They're just glasses. Now, maybe in French and the Romantic languages, they use genders to describe indeterminate things. But in English, we don't have, it's ma'am. Yeah, that's right. It's ma'am indeed, right? So they don't have a gender. It's and this is a construct called neuter. So glasses are neuter. Objects like a table, like the sun, the moon, these things are all neuter when it comes to the gender construct, which is a linguistic concept. People are confusing this with identity and stuff like that. Identity is whatever you want it to be, but yeah, these are words that help to describe things that you see. So I guess if people want you to ask you nicely and politely, and they're nice people, and they ask you to call them another thing, or if I see a person who looks like a woman, talks like a woman, acts like a woman, my immediate knee-jerk reaction is to say she, her as like these pronouns, right? But it has nothing to, like, gender is a descriptor, and it's the eye of the beholder, right? It's almost like theory of relativity. Like, it's the observer. It's not the observed that gets to decide this thing, right? So yeah, people say they won't do it, they will do it, they won't do it. I'm just I'm just in the interest of not being rude to people, right? So if I can see that they're clearly trying to pass as whatever, yeah, whatever. I'll say whatever thing that they. I'm not gonna go into like them and their and z and that crap. No, I'm just gonna speak the language that I speak. I'm not gonna change my language, and I'm not gonna be compelled to speak a language. If somebody forces me to say something, my reaction is gonna be just to avoid that person entirely, and that's me. But this is gender. Gender is a linguistic construct, not a social construct. Sorry. It doesn't work that way. But that's my explanation of gender and where I sit with that. And I promised you guys a meme to finish it off. And I saw this one, and I don't know if this is going to kill the monetization to show this one. But if you've got a kid watching, maybe that's not the time. Anyway, it's the very end of the stream. But this, I thought, was really, really funny, and making sure it's not too loud. Here we go.
Joe, you ready for Alex Jones?
Sure.
Fine. All right.
Oh, I've been ready for Alex Jones.
Let me phone this up.
Okay.
Perfect.
They're fucking killing already more kids, so you're telling me it isn't real when they had a fucking vote in the goddamn fucking Senate?
Joe, you ready for Alex
Sure.
What a mashup. What a mashup. Just to see it one more time, because somebody took this is from, must be at least three different Joe Rogan episodes, but one more time. So good.
Fine.
All right.
Oh, I've been ready for
Let me
Alex
phone
Jones.
this up.
Okay.
Perfect.
They're fucking killing already more kids, so you're telling me it isn't real when they had a fucking vote in the goddamn fucking Senate?
Yeah, Elon, whatever. I love it. I can't wait to see the flood of people coming back to Twitter. Twitter's just starting to happen. Elon hasn't even got the keys yet. We don't know what's gonna happen. They're talking about moving the headquarters to either Texas or to Miami. Either way, I think it's gonna be a blast. Twitter is gonna be so much fun. Also, don't forget to join in on the Discord. If you're a Discord user, I have a server, and I got a lot of awesome people hanging out in that server all the time. So come on over. We can hang out. We can discuss things on either Discord or on Twitter. But yeah, those are the two places I spend the most amount of time if you want to come hang out. Otherwise, there's my videos every weekday morning. I usually try to put out at least two, just to appease the old algorithm, and get some information, at least a couple of stories for you guys, just in case you're really not interested in one of them. But yeah, definitely get that out there every Monday through Friday, except for holiday weekends. Or holidays, and these Friday night live streams are lots of fun, and just want to thank you guys for coming out, even though there's so many other live streams to be watching this evening, especially with all the live stuff going on in Ottawa. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next week, and well, see you on Twitter. Keep on